Together, Cogitate and Bridge Specialty Group are reshaping the wholesale distribution of specialty and surplus lines insurance, driven not just by technology, but by reimagining how wholesalers, carriers, and retail agents can work together. During our three-part series, Bridge Specialty Group's Joe Failla, COO, and Ted Stuckey, Head of Digital Distribution, joined Cogitate CEO, Arvind Kaushal, to reflect on their journey from a single carrier, single state digital platform pilot to a multi-carrier, 50-state marketplace for E&S and personal lines. They also share the practical realities of building a digital distribution platform at scale within a wholesale operation. Part 1 of our series focuses on the retail agent experience, the ways BSG is driving adoption, and the benefits being realized. Let's listen in now.
Are executing on your vision, and how have you seen agents adopting it, and are they excited about it? What are the parts they're liking about it?
Yeah, so first, thank you for your partnership, and yeah, I remember that phone call. So we had done a proof of concept first, and then when I
Yes.
called you and said, "Hey, we got to get this done in 3 months," so you were like, "Oh, Joe, I don't know if we could do that." It's like, "You got it, Arvin," and you did. So the fact that we were able to stand that up, one, allowed us to expand that relationship with that carrier. And expand our relationship with Cogitate. So thank you for that partnership. But yeah, it's I think when we launched the platform, right, we had done a proof of concept to see, all right, are agents going to come to the platform, and we knew the answer to that, right? So agents are very used to going into admitted portals and different ways to access the market. So we knew that they would go in if there's a product that could be sold, right? It's got to be competitive. They've got to be able to use it. The system has to be easy to use. And we found that with the system that we have, right? So it is very intuitive, easy to use. We launched our first digital product, end-to-end digital, where there's little to no touch from our standpoint. And it's integrated with the carrier. So we were able to bring that into a very heavy E&S state like California. And we saw the adoption rate just take off from the minute that we put it out there. And one of our offices, J.E. Brown, that put that out there, really marketed it very well, and trained their agents very well. So so it was a great kind of launching pad into what was then to be, we're going to go in live in, I think it's 41 states that the carrier offers, and it's a fully digital product across the country in each one of for Bridge Specialty. So and then that allowed us to kind of look at, okay, who are the next carriers that we're going to integrate into this experience. So I think the agents, as long as it's easy to use, will come back and utilize it. And as long as you have good product, they'll come in and use it. So, our vision is to put all of our products that we have from an E&S standpoint, and then trickle in some admitted over the next, couple of years as we move forward. But so it's been a great ride, and we see that the adoption is there, and we'll continue to see that grow as we put more and more product on the system.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Joe. So Ted, from your perspective, in all this time, what had been a feedback or something that rings a bell, a more very validating experience from an agent on the how we are helping them to transact effectively?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about like success for something like this. We're not selling widgets, so the competitiveness of the product matters, and that's the right coverages, the right forms, the right price, the right underwriting appetite, and so we've got to kind of evaluate feedback based on a bunch of different criteria. And for the moment we initially rolled that out in California, it was the right time in the market, and it took off great. As we expanded it to more states, the uptake was uneven. And one of the things we learned from that was, one, it matters to have more than just one product on the platform. You've got to bring the right product to solve that agent's unique problems. But from an experience perspective, that we could deliver admitted like experience to retail agents for an E&S product in a way that they'd really never seen it before. It's only been the last probably 2 years or so that you've begun to see more E&S homeowners products delivered in a digital way, but it's still very early in the process. And so most retail agents are not used to buying, selling E&S homeowners on a digital platform. So it was really validating to see the feedback we got in California when the market was uniquely in a spot where we could really take advantage of it with that product that we had, and then quickly validate that it's not just one product, it's not just two. Over time we'll have hopefully dozens of products on the platform, not because you need a lot, but because we have thousands of retail agents that we work with, and all of them have very unique problems that they're bringing to us to solve. And so depending on where you go in the country, we can have some very, very unique personalized exposures that they trust us to solve. And it's up to us to provide them with that digital experience that they're becoming more accustomed to. And we want them to think of us when they think of great experiences and digitally first experiences. So, our agents, we prove, like Joe said, if you put the right product out there and you give them an experience that is as frictionless as we can make it, they're going to eat it up, and they're going to choose that path. Now it's up to us to make sure that we're bringing all the product to them that they need to solve all the problems they have.
I love it. You said frictionless. So in your mind, what is the biggest friction that got removed so far? I know, as Joe said, we have a journey to cover, but where we stand today,
take it back 3-4 years ago, placing a homeowner's policy with an E&S market was a very high touch process, right? You've got an underwriter from a wholesaler that's working with binding markets or brokerage markets. They're asking a lot of questions. Quotes probably have a lot of subjectivities to them, a lot of back and forth, maybe some pre-bind inspections. It's a high touch process. And what's happened is as carriers and regulators have kind of wrapped their arms around the current state of the homeowners market, E&S has become slightly more mainstream than it was before. I live in Nebraska. For Local Edge, one of our fastest growing E&S homeowner states is Nebraska. And to me, that's structural. That's not a market cycle. That's just the way things are going to be. And so if you're an agent and you're used to going onto a carrier portal and getting a quote in 15 minutes or less or whatever, and getting that bound and moving on, now you're drowning in PDF applications and correspondence back and forth with underwriters and long turnaround times, days, maybe weeks, highly complex quotes, highly complex coverages, things that you need to explain to your insured. And then, oh, by the way, when that insured gets that quote, there's a pretty nasty cover letter on there that's got some big bolded words about what state guarantee funds are and what E&S does and doesn't provide as far as protections around insolvency and things. It's a complicated transaction, and rightfully so. And so the friction that we were able to take out between the carrier partner, Cogitate, and Bridge Specialty Group was a lot of that back and forth, was trying to find the right box where we could all comfortably say, this can move on a faster path than most, but it still needs the freedom of form and filing that E&S brings to the table to solve a real problem in the market, and we can deliver it in a digital way. Doesn't mean our underwriters aren't involved. Doesn't mean that agents aren't coming to us first and foremost because of our expertise, because of the access to product that we have. But it means that because of our expertise, we're able to work with the largest capacity providers on earth to bring forward product that can be delivered in this way. And if it can't, there's a natural exit path back into our teammates who are able to place that through London or through some other capacity provider as needed.
That's awesome. And I remember that when we were our initial days, when Joe remembered we were talking about how to get the submission, and he said, no, I want a common submission, because our goal is so that we understand the risk, but then we are the experts who know how to do that matchmaking, right? And where it's going to fit the best at the most effective way, and giving the most coverages and having the price which is.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when you have a portal and someone goes on and gets maybe 3 or 4 different quotes and they see it, price isn't always the end all be all, right?
Yes.
There's coverages and the right forms on the policy. So, I think that's very important, that there is still an underwriter behind the scenes making sure that we're placing it in the best interest of the customer. So it's not just price driven, it's coverages and looking at, the overall characteristics of that risk and making sure we've got the right market on it. And making sure that, just because you're in a digital experience doesn't mean that, you're getting an inferior product. You're getting, the best product that we have to offer, whether that is through a digital platform or through that same platform, but with a market that we have maybe binding authority for, and we've got to underwrite that risk. So, bringing those two worlds together has been a little bit of a challenge, right?
Yes.
Of okay, this is digital, but then if it falls out of there, how do you do it in a manual process, or kind of still go through the system, but keeping that experience for the retailer the same, right? And that's what we're after, and we were talking about it earlier.
Yes, yes.
Is they should not see a difference whether it's a digital process that goes all the way through and there's no touch on our end, or if we're touching it very much and underwriting it and doing all this stuff. Their experience should be the same, and that's the importance of it.
Right, so I have one final one for you guys. Imagine we are having these conversations 3 years down the line. And I want to start with you, Joe, first. What would be success for you?
Well, I've had this vision that everything that Bridge Specialty Personal Lines does is through the platform. So all of our customers are on it, our people our teammates are on it, and we're utilizing the platform. And we are the number one personal lines provider, wholesaler in the country. I think we're close to that already, but I think the platform gets us there. So, and I think it's just got to be the experience that our agents just keep coming back to. So product is product, and we're all going to have maybe a couple of things that are different, but for the most part, every wholesaler has the same product. So how do we differentiate ourselves? And that is our people and our tech, I think our experience. So that's in 3 years what I'm hoping we get out of this in our partnership. I'm gonna keep pushing you to get there.
No, we love that. Keep doing that.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I see is the vision, right? Like I told you, what I
I was just checking,
has
has
the
the vision
same
changed or no?
No, vision's still the same. We are a lot bigger now than 2 years ago.
Yes,
We've done
yes.
some acquisitions that have, in the personal lines world, have really upped our game. So so we're a lot bigger from that standpoint. So we have a lot more work. So it seems like we keep just adding on to it,
Yes.
which is not a bad place to be. But,
No, absolutely.
we're excited about the journey, and I have nothing but faith that we'll get there.
Awesome. Ted, what's your 3 years down the
I
line?
would say all of that, and then at the end of the day, it's a relationship business, and we have to be careful that we're investing in technology that strengthens the relationship between our teammates and their retail customers. The goal here is not disintermediation. The goal here is to provide yet another reason why retail agents don't have to go anywhere but Bridge Specialty Group to place their risks. And when we look at what we're building with Cogitate, that singular solution, the technical side, I have all the faith in the world. The change management side, the side around how that technology translates into a differentiated experience above and beyond just the pixels on the screen, and deepens the relationship between our team and that retail customer. That's where the real promise is at. As Joe said, the product is the product. We'll bring some really cool proprietary product onto the platform that no one else has.
Awesome.
But if the experience is subpar, if the relationship's not there, it doesn't matter. And so that's where I go back to the fact that this was built with an and in between teammates and customers, and not an or. And so we are hyper focused on making sure that we're solving for both of those key stakeholders, not just their disparate workflows, but the relationship that exists between them. And that's what makes it special.